Hello guys, welcome to Solving Solutions, your number one channel where I get solutions to all your solving problems. It's nice having you in class again today. How have you been? On today's tutorial, we are going to use ArcGIS Pro to carry out Kriging Interpolation, right? Good. Now, we have used the desktop version of ArcGIS, so we just want to take this one on the Pro version. Now, the Kriging Interpolation is a geostatistical technique used in GIS to predict the value of variables across a geographic area based on a set of known points, right? Good. Now, so after that the ArcGIS desktop video, someone contacted me and asked me if they can use it for bathymetry, like to interpolate for maybe some sounded depths. I told them the principles are almost the same, right? Good, because according to this method, it predicts values of a variable, which in this case would be the sounded depth, right? Good, based on a set of known sample points, which would be what the sounded depth still, right? Good. So across a geographic area. Now we are going to go further by using the Pro version. So we have our sample data, so let's open it up. You can see the latitude, the longitude, and then the altitude, right? Good. So yours can be, as we've always said, maybe rainfall data, trying to sample some soil information or whatever the case is, right? Good. So the information you're trying to sample will actually be, according to our description here, will be the variable, right? Good. So let's close this out, and then we have to change this to what display XY data. So we right click and then we select what display XY data. Good. So the input table is this, then the output feature class will be this, the X field is the longitude, the Y field is the latitude, and then the Z field what is the altitude, right? Good. So now the coordinate system was selected. You can still come up here, confirm that yeah, it's WGS 1984, right? Good. So we click on OK, then OK. Good. So we can also overlay a boundary, so we can easily drag and drop, right? So we have the boundary here, it fits perfectly. Let's work on the symbology. Let's make this no color, and then perhaps this red, and then let's make this 4 or 5, right? Good. So we apply, and then we have our outline. So we can take out the base map so that we have something like this. So these are the sample points which we want to interpolate, right? Good. So without further ado, let's come to geoprocessing, and then we come to the toolboxes. Under the toolboxes, we navigate to the spatial analyst tool, then we search for interpolation, and then we pick Kriging, right? Good. So you can actually find the tools by searching for what the tool you need for, or you scroll down through the different toolboxes and then you select the particular tool you're looking for. So we are using Kriging on today's tutorial, so we open that up. So for better visualization, let's float it. Now the input point feature will be what the point data we have, which was converted from a standalone table to XY table to point. Our Z field was not rightly identified. It's supposed to be the altitude, right? Good. So it's actually very important. Now we have always advised you use this information to read the description, or to see the description of each of the tools that we have on the software, or that you can see on the software, so that you can confirm which of the options to pick and why you want to pick them, right? Good. So you can see the semi-variogram properties. So if you use this ID, the information rather, you can see what it means, and then some of the other parameters that are involved, right? Good. So we are going to leave these other parameters as default as they are, but depending on what you want to achieve, you can decide to modify them. Now let's come up to the environments. It's actually very important that we also set up a few things in the environment. So let's say under the environment, right? Good. Now the output CRS, we can use the drop down to decide to use the current map CRS, which is what geographic, right? Good. That's the GCS. Then we leave the geographic transformation, the processing extent. By default, we are going to change it to ArcGIS because we want our extent or the Kriging interpolation to be done within what this ArcGIS boundary. That's why we have it here, right? Good. Now for the raster analysis, we also want it to be maxed to what the ArcGIS boundary. So these are a few more parameters you need to just check for better visualization of what your results. So having fixed all of those, we can run. Good. So you can see it's completed. You can decide to keep it back docked, and then let's come to the symbology. You can see that we are using geometric interval, so let's use equal interval. You see a brief description of each of the intervals, right? Good. So let's use equal interval, and then we can decide to change the classes to maybe 4 or 5 depending on what we want to use. So let's say we are using 4. You can see as we do, there are updates on the Kriging result, right? Good. So we can also check the color scheme to see a different color scheme which we want to use to represent. And then having seen the color scheme, you can see the classes, right? Good. That shows what the different ranges. So we can also float this so that we can see how to expand it, and good. So you can see what the different colors that represent the different classes, right? Good. So the labels, you can modify them. Maybe you call this maybe low. We come down to call this high. Whatever you want to call them, you can see this has been modified, so it can be what duplicated, right? Good. So the range of value maybe less than or equal to 5.7, less than or equal to 7.3, less than or equal to 8.9, depending on what the classes, and then the number of classes rather, and then the method used for what the classification, right? Good. So there are other options here if you want to use discrete values or unique values or whatever the case is that you want to use to represent what the result, right? Good. So now let's still dock it back. We can also decide to display the elevation values, right? Good. So under the let's not use this method. So we can select the layer, come up to labeling, then under labeling we can see what the field, right? Good. So the field we want to use is the altitude. So we select altitude, right click, label, right? Good. So we have the altitude values used to label what the different points, right? Good, because that's the value we are trying to interpolate. So this is the basics, the foundation with which you can build to carry out or use Kriging interpolation, right? Good, for whatever set of data you have. And there are other interpolation techniques which we might also explore on the channel, but so far we have used ArcGIS and the ArcGIS Pro to show you how to use Kriging interpolation. Remember, you can also change the color of the text you are using. You can change the font size, you can change the text font, and all of that, right? Good. So thanks for coming to class. We hope we have shown you how to carry out Kriging interpolation using ArcGIS Pro. We are going to see you on the next tutorial. Ensure you keep staying safe and have a very good time. Bye.